Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. This is the third episode, I guess, for building a live collaborative whiteboard in Django. Um, so before we start anything new, we need to fix two bugs that resulted from yesterday. The first one is that the changes, even though they are broadcasted to different clients, they're not actually saved in the database. So if I refresh this page, you can see those new changes are not here anymore. And that was because when we do board object from JSON, this one doesn't actually save it. So I think it makes sense to just save it here, right? For what we need. So you can say board equals to that, and then board save, and return board, I think. So that solved that issue. And because from JSON is really not used in any other places, so I think this change is fine. If we need something different in the future, we can do it at that then. Okay, so let's test this out. If I change something good, it's still broadcasted to this server, to this client. And on the backend, we don't see anything that's alarming, so that's good. The second issue we have is in the view function. We had a decorator that parses the payload here and set the payload on the request. But here we're doing it again. We're not actually using the payload we already parsed. So just remove that, and I can just say payload equals to request payload. Yeah, if everything goes well, that should still work. Yeah, that still works. So yesterday we made a lot of changes on the backend. Today, this might be a shorter video because it's kind of getting late, and tomorrow is a holiday. So I think what we'll do today is to distinguish the state of a pass or join. For example, if I draw a line, so this line is still not finished, so it's not being sent to a server, and once I mouse up here, it's being sent, but there is a state where it's being sent to a server, but the server haven't confirmed that it's been sent. So I think we need to differentiate that. So I think to do that, we need some kind of a queue, right? To we need some kind of queue here. Sending changes queue, or sending object queue, and that's gonna be a empty array for now. In this sending object, sorry, it'll be an empty array, and the type will be board object. Is it good enough? Actually, it's not sort of a queue. It's just like it's actually a object or a map. I think, yeah, it actually makes more sense. So basically we have a key. Or do we need this key? I'm not sure. Well, let's go with this for now. If we need to change something in the future, we'll do it. So it has a key, and the value will be of type board object, right? So in this send object, function, what we're gonna do is that we know that here right, so let's see where this is getting called. Send board object. So on mouse up, we basically call send board object on current join object, and then we just clear the current join object. But instead of doing that, I think we can assign a new ID here to the current join object, and basically move that from current join object to the sending object. So let's try that. How do I generate an ID? Is your ID a thing? Let's try Stack Overflow. No. Generating unique string in JavaScript, or actually random string should be good enough for now. And here's this one-liner, so why not? I like one-line stuff. What's the difference between these two? I think this is actually shorter, so I just use this one. But I put it here. Right. Let's see. Generate ID. Turn. What I'm doing? It's JavaScript. Yeah. And I just include a link here. Okay. Basically means if this code goes wrong, don't ask me, ask this guy here. Cool. So I think actually here, instead of calling that, we can just do this does send current join object, because it already knows what kind of things we should send, right? And there's only one currently join object. So let's create that. To code. And we can get the object, and that would be this the current join object, and we'll generate an ID for this object. Just call it ID. Generate ID. Cool. And here we set sending objects ID equals to object. Yeah. And then we actually try to send this object. with this ID, and then we clear the current join object, right? Oh, yeah. Okay. So this right now it doesn't take ID, so we'll make it take an ID. It's just whenever this returns, I think I'm going to finally here. Whenever this returns, we just clear the object from the sending objects, right? It deletes. Okay. Actually, right. And so send object. How did we? Oh, right. We called push here, so this push should be delayed to here, right? Because only when this happens. Oh, I guess. And also, if this doesn't, right? If the response is successful, only when the response is successful, then we do it. Otherwise we just delete the ID from the object, but we don't push it here. Although in the future maybe we can add some retry logic here, but for now let's just do this. And this will not work currently because in the draw function we're not drawing the objects in the sending objects. Oh god, it's not a great name, I guess. I'm saying a lot of objects. Okay. So how do we? Oh, object is not ordered. So technically, they're not being drawn in the correct order because the order is random. Like, is there a built-in kind of ordered object? Map. Can we use map? Order. The map object holds key value pairs and remembers the original insertion order of the keys. So I think that's good, right? Yeah, I think that's better. Let's see. Strip. In the order of entry insertion. Okay. Let's just use a key, use a map, just to make it make sense easier for us. Instead of building something on our own or using a dependency, I'm sure just more than one dependency that does ordered object. So this is gonna be a new map of type key would be a string, value will be join object, board object. Okay. How does delete still work on this? What? Weird. Not sure how this works, but I think usually that's how you do it. Does delete just work on everything? No. Yeah, how does that work? Not sure. Okay. And this setting objects. Is my type checker is just not working? Or this is allowed on all objects? Guess my type checker is not working. Anyways, set ID. Or actually, we don't need an ID here, right? We just need a callback here saying that. How about we just return this, right? If we can just make it a async function, and we'll make this async function as well, and then we can do try catch, and maybe not entirely sure, but let's give it a try. We can just do try catch to send this one here. Does this raise on a bad request status? Let's try this. If response dot status is greater than 400. Not sure. What's a good way to do this? Fetch throw on bad request on bad status code. Response.ok. What does response.ok mean? Empty and fetch response.ok. Response.ok. Right, it's basically if it's in a range of 200s. Well, we'll just use that. If it's not okay, then we'll throw new error. Okay. I'm not too familiar with how this try catch work. Like in general, like how does error handling work in async await JavaScript? Guess we'll see. Right, so we can try this, and if is there a way to do a subclass of error just like in Python and just catch it, the specific type of error here? Not sure. For now, we just do this. Is it fine on your thing? No. Okay. We do that. Just no matter what. We need to delete it no matter what. It's just if there's an error. What do we do? Guess we just console the error. Just because there's really nothing really to do here. And just return. No. Is there an else thing? No. How do people usually do this? So if it is successful, then we push it to the objects array, I guess. Don't need to catch that here. We do need to return it, I believe. Okay. Okay, and we need to remove that. And in this draw function, we need to iterate through all the objects that's been sent. Dot entries. Yeah, for each. Yeah, it's an iterator. For off. Actually, before doing this, I think this ID is not necessary anymore, right? So if I remove that, I don't need this. No. Yeah, I think it's not necessary anymore. Or is it? Oh, I think it still is, right? Because I need to know which one to remove after if it's successful. So I guess there's really not that much of difference if this block, if this blob of code is here in this function or here. So the key here, key is a string, which I don't really care about. Actually, can I just do values? Yeah, that's better. Start draw objects. Obj. And maybe I'll give it a flag saying that this is in flight. True. And of course, options. Boolean. And it's optional. That. What if I don't do this? I think my TypeScript is broken, so I don't really know. Okay, great. Oh god. Do I need to actually like pass the options to all the like the actual draw functions? There gotta be a better way to do this, I think. Well, we'll worry about it later. Yeah, let's worry about it later. So I think we can do something like if options dot in flight, we can change the stroke style here to be red, right? Let's try it out. I don't think it's gonna work on the first try. Oh god, everything is in red now. What happens? Stroke style. Do I need to like reset? Reset is to black. I'm not sure. Well, let's see. So everything is in red now. Oh, this should default to false. That's really stupid. Please be in black. Okay, great. Now if I draw something, well, I don't really know. Yeah. Well, first of all, let's check if things are still working like as if it still works the same way as we made this change before we made this change. Okay, so things are still persisting. Actually, let's what if we delay this here, right? Wait, sleep. Let's delay it for a sec. Okay. Well, that's not making any difference. And I think there's something interesting. I'm drawing the same path twice. Well, I guess that's a different bug we need to fix because it's broadcasting back to ourselves. Okay. Right, because we removed the session ID here. Interesting. We'll worry about it later. Yeah. There are a lot of ways to deal with that. Let's figure out the color stuff first. Just trying to find out where to do console log. Oh, I think one thing that might be wrong. Sorry, send current join object. This should be a wait. Oh no. Sorry, where's that? Send object. This one should be. Oh, what? So this doesn't make any sense. This one should be here. Right. And yeah, let's try that. Oh, oh, that seems to be working. Oh no. Oops, that's totally wrong. Well, so first of all, oh right, I guess, yeah, I guess it's easier just to not make it async because this will block here, and but those two should already be happening. What if I move it here and something like that? Did draw something? Oh, response now. Okay. Did the backend complain? Oh, yeah. Single thread executor already been used with deadlock. Well, that's something new I wasn't aware of. What does that mean? I think it's a Django thing, maybe. So it's from ASCII-ref. Okay. So how do I configure the executor? Or rather the channels database async to sync executor? Or just in general executor, I guess. Thread pool. Let's see. Single thread. Sure. Um, is it a channels thing? What's that? It's a Java thing. So not that. Channels configure executor. Should be Django channels. No. Okay, let's read the code for this again. So where is that? It's from ASCII-ref. Okay. Hmm. Where's this been set? Okay. Hmm. So it's been set to true here. Why is it a single thread executor? For thread sensitive code. That's been used where? Inside here, maybe? It's from sync to async. Thread sensitive. Thread sensitive is true by default. Right. Work out what thread to run the code in. We have a parent sync thread above somewhere, use that. Oh. Retrieve in the current context. I'm not entirely sure what I should do. Let's try it again, actually. Okay. So it sent this request here and view func. It's from database sync to async. That's that. So there's an init. Thread sensitive. Could we run in the same thread? Okay, that's interesting. So it must be running through here somewhere in the code. And then it tried to, this is being called again. And then sorry, this is called again. And then it went to here. Where am I calling that though? Not calling it here. and just print out the trace. That. Well, first let's try this. Let's try pass the thread sensitive to false, which may be not a good idea. Let's see. Oh. Okay. Right, that still throws an error. Non-type object is not a mapping. Sorry, what did I send? Object data is none. Okay, that's something we need to fix. Fetch. All right. This should just be object obj here. Right. Okay. Okay, so that worked for some reason, but still not sure why. That would throw an error. Maybe, I don't know, it really depends on how Channels wants the Django's async views. Maybe Channels will just wrap everything that Django does inside a thread already. Yeah, that's interesting. So let's do this, right? I just print the function just to see what's going on. Session store. Get user login, logout. CSRF view middleware. Process view. So I think whatever gets here first, we need to figure out what that is. Right? Print self.func. If I draw something. No. From JSON is the only thing that's getting caught here, but then what gets here? Oh, right. I also need to change this back to true. What? Why? What? What? So I'm confused. Why did that work? Sorry, what's changed? Why do you work now? So this used to be none, right? And that works. Strange. What's going on? Or is it maybe that's the combination of the two? Let me try that. Okay, so now that's broken, which is good. Oh, response for exception. So I guess the second function that's being called there is response for exception. What is response for exception though? Which means if we have a exception in our any kind of exception in our database sync to async code, it's gonna lead to that situation. Is that the case? Still though, it's good to know. I think I might want to spend some more time on it in the future because it does seem like a very interesting problem. Yeah. Okay. I will try to fix that maybe tomorrow. I mean, by fixing that, I mean to figure out exactly what's happening. But from my observation is that you cannot have a exception in your database sync to async code, and that which is also called in a async view. So seems like that's what's happening. Yeah. Anyways, that's good to know. So great. Now we have this kind of a save indicator when the unsaved line is drawn in red. We'll need to figure out the other issue we're having, which is okay, I guess this is another issue we're having right now. Apparently we're having a lawn object here. I think we're just gonna take a look at those two issues right now. So I just need to know where the dot push is being called. But of course, because current join object is set to none here. Well, just use obj here. Right? That should do it. Okay, there's no exception here. It's good. So come to the next problem, which is the same line is being drawn twice. And did this disconnect or something? Oh, now it works. Or it's just like my eyes are not working right. Just too much nine, too many nines. Okay. So basically the idea is for the broadcasting function, which is in a consumer, to know that this message is being sent to myself. The way to do this, because one of the connection is a WebSocket connection, and the other one is a HTTP connection. And because HTTP connection is stateless, so it's not aware of the WebSocket connection. And fortunately, I think there is a way to add some kind of state to your HTTP connection, and that is through cookies, or we can manually add some kind of header. Personally, I don't know. I don't know if it's easier to. I haven't dealt with cookies in WebSocket. Though I assume they will work, I'm not sure. So I think what I'll do is I'll let the client generate its own ID. Well, it seems like it's gonna work. If it breaks things in the future, we'll change that. But for now, we can just add a session ID here. Generate ID. Okay, just use that. Okay, and this session ID will be used when creating the WebSocket connection. I'm just gonna, can I pass it here? Let's see. WebSocket connection. Does it also have the usual headers? It's easy to add custom. Only the path and protocol field can be specified. So it doesn't have header. Then I guess I can just add it to the path, really, as a query string. Something like that. And how do I get the session ID here? So I don't really need to generate it on the backend anymore. I just print self.scope. And I let the log to tell me where to find it. Okay. Sure, route doesn't have that. Actually, let's see. Let me see. Right, the session ID is here. Indeed. That's that token. Where's the path? Raw path is that. What? Does it ignore the query string? That doesn't make sense to me. No. Refresh. And why does it connect twice? Sorry, I'm very confused. And it connects twice with two different session IDs, and this one Oh, that's not okay. Weird. Um, so in a request, in a header, I guess. So the path. So, user agent. So those are the headers. It does have header, but I guess it's no way to retrieve that. Session. I do have session here though. Is that session persistent? I do have Django sessions here. Although I still want to try test this out. Why is this query string getting ignored? Query parameters. Is a vat. However, the way you can access the password. Let's see. Message the content dictionary. What? This doesn't look like the right version to me. Message the content. Well, I will give it a try. But how do I get a message? What? That's not a right version. Oh, channel 3, yeah. Scope query string. It's just like my eyes are not working. I don't see it. I just print it out. I just trust this this answer here. What? I guess. What? Oh, I do have query string here. Okay, I guess it's just my eyes are not. My eyes are bad. Okay, that's great. Yes, I do need to parse it. Okay, great. Session ID would be just copy that. Self.scope. Get session ID. Right? So let's print that out. To see if it's here or not. It's a list. Right, because the query string can be a multi-valued dictionary. I think if I just use get item here, it'd be different. No. Well, I think there's something called parse QSL. Oh, list. Oh, right, because that gives you a. Sorry. Parse a. I should read this. Okay. How about this? I mean, I could just use like list 0. It's just thing I also need to check if the list of is empty or not. Okay, this seems to be working. Okay, I keep it that way. So we have session ID, and here we can then, right. So we're already doing this here. It's just like this code is not being run anymore because we're sending the changes through HTTP instead of the WebSocket connection. So I should really just remove this. Just coming it out for now. Now we just need to say right, it's content session ID. Okay, session ID should be something, right? We don't know what it is yet. Well, I guess we can make middleware to do it, but just to make things simpler, except well, I just changed this expect JSON and change it from expect JSON to expect JSON in session ID. Right. Now I can do. How do I get? Well, on front end first. When doing the fetch request, we need to add extra header. I just call it session ID. Not really like very up to spec or things like that. Just to make it work. How do I get that from? I think in Django it's something like I'm not sure. Django get request header. Headers. Dot headers. The simpler way to access all HTTP prefixed headers. So that's good. Session ID here equals to request headers, right? A get. Okay, session ID. If not session ID, then return bad request because we expect one. Equals to session ID. And here we can access that. Request dot. I mean, if we really want to go fancy, we can also like, I don't know, use some context bars to store the information. But I think for now this could work. Let's give it a try. It's not even starting. Oh, right. I changed the name. Expect JSON and session ID. No result. Okay. If I draw something here, it's been broadcasted to this server here, but I'm still seeing the red version of that. So that's not good. Let's figure that out. Actually, let's just do something hacky here, right? Let's do ts ignore window.board equals to board. So if I draw something and that's red, which is not good, so let's do board dot sending objects. That doesn't have anything. Oh, I think it's just we need to redraw it. right? After we send the object, after we move the object from the sending queue to the objects array, we need to redraw it here, or actually here. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, so now that works. So when you draw something here, if you don't mouse up, it's still being drawn, and if you release your mouse, it tries to send it. And while it's being sent, it's rendered in red. And after it's been confirmed by the server, it turns black again. And in the meantime, it's being broadcasted to the other clients. So that's good. I think that's it for today. We spent a lot of time trying to figure out the deadlock issue. I think I might spend some more time on this tomorrow. It does seem like a very interesting issue to investigate. But otherwise, I think that's it for today. It's getting late, and tomorrow I promise let's build something more interesting, like adding color, allow users to choose colors, or even more, allow users to zoom in or zoom out, things like that. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.